Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. So today we will start a discussion on another very important topic, which is a balanced scorecard, right. So we will see how we can align the supply chain overall performance with certain key strategic areas, not only the financial measures, but also we will try to figure out what are the non-financial measures which we can align with the overall strategy, vision, mission of the organization, right. So we will proceed in this way. We will talk about in generic what are the performance measures, quantitative, qualitative measures. Then we will talk about balanced scorecard approach, what are the different aspects we will try to address under balanced scorecard, and then we will try to see balanced scorecard in connection with the supply chain, right. We will try to develop the supply chain performance matrices, and then we will see how we can measure those performance indexes, so that we can implement this balanced scorecard approach to improve the overall quality of the supply chain, quality, efficiency, effectiveness, in whatever way you are calculating the performance, so that we can improve. And then we will end this discussion with couple of cases, right. So we will spend couple of session on this, starting with supply chain performance measures. So basic is what we are targeting is your effectiveness and efficiency, what you are supposed to deliver, right, a package of that product or services whatever you are delivering, and how efficiently you are doing that. Having said that, that means you need to align all the activities, all the functional areas throughout all the stakeholders involved in that supply chain from the starting to the end point, right. And when you are aligning those activities, not only you need to perform those activities effectively to deliver the product, but also the cost effective way, right. So efficiency we need to target as well, right. So again, if I will just draw the again the main stakeholders, raw material suppliers are coming from here, and then we are having the manufacturers, co-manufacturers, and then finally we have the customers, right, through the distribution network, right. Or maybe you can see your distribution agency can also be sometimes considered as the customer, right. And this is how it is happening. And sometimes what we are doing, we are processing the returns as well. When we are not happy with the products, we are processing the returns as well. So this is very basic supply chain structure we are discussing from the starting, right. Now when we are talking about supply chain management effectiveness and efficiency, just I'll briefly again just touch these points. First point in efficiency and effectiveness is acquisition of the raw material, right. So acquisition means right raw material should be there, right raw material in right quantity at right place, right time, right. That is effectiveness. And efficiency, how you can minimize the overall cost of acquiring that ownership of the raw material, right. So first thing is, if I will say cost of raw material is the first component when we will design the overall cost function. So raw material cost is the first one. Then we are transporting that raw material to manufacturer. So transportation cost is the next element in that. How effectively, how efficiently we are transporting, that again depends upon the routing, depends upon the vehicle utilization, depends upon the mode of transport you are picking, and other factors related to transportation, right. So then What we are doing? We are storing in between the storage houses that raw material, we are maintaining the inventory, because if we are not doing the just in time of system, or even in just in time of system, we are maintaining inventory for maybe very temporary period of time, right. So then again the storage cost will be there. Storage means whenever we are talking about storage, handling will also come into that. Again then, now the second stage, manufacturing, converting your raw material into finished one, that manufacturing cost will be added, right. So throughout this discussion of balance scorecard, we will keep all these points from where the cost is coming, right. You need to configure this cost function. Then manufacturer what is doing? Delivering the finished goods to the distributor. Then again we are managing the warehousing. So warehousing cost will be there, keeping that inventory, track, handling, all that will do that in warehousing only, right. So sometimes we are doing the extra packaging, sometimes we are doing kitting, right. So that will also be the cost, warehousing cost, right. And then the final, the distribution cost, you can consider it as the end mile distribution cost. So these basically, when we will design the cost function, these different components will be there. When we are saying efficiently, so that means we need to minimize the cost, either your raw material acquisition, how you can minimize the raw material acquisition cost? By negotiating with the suppliers. How you can effectively acquire the material? By negotiating the quality, by negotiating the variety, right. When having said that, negotiating the quality, that means we have done that vendor rating. Whosoever is the best vendor, you need to get the raw material from that vendor, maximum raw material. How you can empower your vendors in that process? You can improve their technology, you can improve their skills, their processes, how they are producing the raw material. So that way we have discussed in the vendor rating format, and we have discussed in the supply chain coordination as well, how you can improve the performance and efficiency of your stakeholders, right. So this is, see, one end we are discussing on cost, another end we are discussing on the effectiveness, quality, other parameters, right. Then we are talking about if we want to minimize the manufacturing cost, maybe we will try to produce in bulk, right, so that the per unit cost can be reduced, because if you are producing 50 units and if you are producing 5,000 units, per unit cost will be different, because you are enjoying the economies of scales, right. So that, but then if you are producing 5 unit, 50 unit or 5,000 units, so then again the inventory cost will be varying in that way, if you are managing more inventory. But if you can ensure the consumption of the inventory in the market, then it is fair enough, right. So this is how you can minimize. Talking about distribution, how end mile delivery you can reduce by maybe electrical vehicles, if you are doing the delivery using that, maybe you are doing delivery by bicycles or some other way where you can minimize the total cost. So we have discussed this in detail, how we can minimize the transportation cost, how we can manage the effectiveness during transportation, in warehousing, while picking up our raw material suppliers. Then we discussed all different sessions we have done till now, right. So this is the brief scenario, how when we are talking about productivity and efficiency, we need to focus on this. So again, there is no need now to explain on this key components: on time delivery, stock availability, order accuracy, production, these are few measures, right. So the complete picture is there when you are talking about quick delivery. So from the fulfillment center, that means it is the performance measure related to your warehousing, right. How quickly warehouse is recording the order and then picking, packing the order and finally making the delivery to the end customer. So that this is one component related to your warehouse only. But when we will keep on discussing different functional units, different stakeholder, these measures will change, right. So because I have picked only few points for examples, right. So then you can we have discussed all those stakeholders in detail. You can pick those performance measures and then accordingly you can design the balanced scorecard for all that. So obviously we have some qualitative measures. Sometimes we don't we really cannot quantify some things like how I am feeling about the product, your experience about the delivery. So maybe then you cannot exactly quantify in terms of numbers. So then you are getting the feedback whether satisfactory or less satisfactory, or dissonance after purchasing or after sale services, right? So those are some of the qualitative measures you are recording. Quantitative, on time delivery, whether you are 5 minutes late or you are 5 minutes early, right? That is your quantitative measure. Quality defects, how many product complaints are coming back to you, that is another defect. So you can actually record in time, right? So some other measures are there. Flexibility, how quickly you can change over. If you are producing model A, then you need to change over to model B. How quickly? In 10 minutes you are doing that. In 5 minutes you are changing over from one model to another model. That means your manufacturing is very flexible, right? This is only I am talking about manufacturing. So this flexibility can be associated with warehousing as well. This flexibility can be associated with the transportation network. If today I need maybe a small size packet, or maybe same product small size, how quickly you can deliver the order. Tomorrow I need bigger size, maybe today let's take the example, only family 2-3 members are there, and we want to order cake. So very small size cake, you are ready to deliver, your courier partner is ready to deliver, he is having that capacity, your cake manufacturer, that bakery is ready to deliver. Tomorrow I have invited maybe 100 people for the birthday purpose, right? So then you need that bigger cake, whether your manufacturing, that bakery is flexible enough to manufacture that size of cake. So that is your just one example. Talking about quantitative measures, some measures we can directly attach with the financial measures, and some we cannot attach with the financial measures. So non-financial measures that you are calculating, very important, but somewhere indirectly leading to your performance only. When we are saying performance, that means either you are talking about you are enhancing the customer experience, then what will happen? Customer will be loyal. Then what will happen? Customer will go for more frequent purchases. That means again you can attach with the financial measure, your profit is increasing, your market share is increasing. Direct financial measures, what is the return on investment? That is direct financial measure. How much you are investing, how much you are getting. What is the profit? Again direct financial measure, right? How much you are saving in inventory? Again direct financial measure. What is the inventory cost? Again direct financial measure. How much is the purchase order cost, raw material acquisition cost? Again financial measure. Non-financial measure, your like quality of the product, right? So then you can see how you are on time delivery of the product, right? How you are ensuring quality, how you are ensuring delivery. So that is non-financial measures. So let us quickly go through the financial measures. So obviously we have some fixed and operational cost, and we want to find out whenever we are calculating or we are defining our KPIs. Why we are doing this? There are two basic reasons. One is we want to find out where we are, our performance level. Right now where we are, what is our level, right? So maybe we are standing somewhere here. Then what is the benchmark in that industry? Where is the leader of that industry? Maybe somewhere here. So this is the gap, how we can bridge that gap. So two basic purpose. First is we need to measure our current performance and where we want to be in next maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, or maybe smaller time period can be there depending upon what you are dealing with, right? So you need to pick the benchmark. This is the basic measure. So we can just go through raw material cost. Whatever raw material cost you are acquiring, so whatever you are paying, not only the raw material cost, the storage cost of raw material, the transportation of raw material, the handling of the raw material, means total cost of ownership, maybe it is included here. If it is not included, you can see total cost of ownership. How much you are paying to get that raw material into your factory, and then you are means on the production line. After that, once production is starting, then it will be under your manufacturing cost. Until that, your total cost of ownership. Revenue from the goods sold. How many goods you are selling and what revenue you are getting out of that, right? Activity based cost. So if you are talking about inventory management, how much inventory management is adding to your overall cost? If you are talking about logistics cost, distribution, transportation, warehousing cost, how much you are adding to overall cost? Like we discussed in the initial session, in India the logistics cost is around 14 to 15%. Now what is the purpose of calculating this? See, the global average is somewhere 8 to 10%. If we talk about the developed nation, they are maintaining somewhere to 6 to 7%. That means we are spending extra on logistics activity. We need to reduce this heavily. We need to do some optimization. We need to go for picking the alternative route. We need to pick for alternative transportation mode. We need to update our warehouses, go for updation, maybe automated warehouses, inventory minimization, whatever required to minimize the cost, because still we are spending somewhere 6 to 7% extra than what other players in the market they are spending. If you are spending 7% extra, that means that somewhere 7% directly profit you are reducing. So your other foreign players will be cost efficient, then they will be delivering the product on lesser margin, and obviously then how you will compete? Inventory holding cost will come into that, the carrying cost, right? During handling you are sometimes damaging the product as well, that cost will also be there. Transportation cost already we talked about, whether you are going through air, you are going through ship, you are going through road, and we have seen that ship is the most cheap and sustainable way to transport your product. But then whether we have that infrastructure to go for that. Then cost of expired perishable goods. So what if goods are expiring in your warehouse, in your storage center? Before producing that, your raw material is expired because of the perishable nature of the product, or in the final distribution fulfillment center, the product expired because you could not move that inventory in the market, you could not ensure the sales of that product, right? Penalty for incorrectly filling of the orders. If some raw material is incorrectly coming to you, obviously issues related to quality, and then if still raw material suppliers are supplying to you, that means it is incorrectly filled, so that cost will be there. Either you will be segregating, you will be sending back, so then again transportation cost, because this is system cost. This is not only, obviously your vendor will bear that cost, but again delay will be there, and then you were expecting to reach the lot today and that lot reached, but that is not in good shape, in good quality. So what you will do? You will return back, but then your whole production line will stop. How you will maintain the on-time delivery? What you will do? Forget about the on-time delivery. What you will do with that 1,000 manpower working on that manufacturing line? Credit for incorrectly filled, said that is already there. If you are doing segregation or maintaining the raw material, so obviously your vendors will pay. And cost of goods returned by the customer. If customers are returning the order because of any failure, any defect, any quality issue, any functionality issue, manufacturing related issue, packaging related issue, delivery related issues, what is the cost, right? So that full exercise is gone, right? Credit for goods returned to supplier, so that also they need to credit that. Now let's talk about the non-financial measures quickly. So cycle time basically for any activity, we can say that how much time is required to deliver this session, maybe 35-40 minutes, right? So but that is the actual time. Let's say the complete time when you will go through this lecture, recorded lecture, maybe 42 minutes, but when I recorded, maybe I recorded for 44 or 45 minutes because of some interruptions or something like happened. So video editing team, they did that editing part, and then it is reduced to that much, right? So how much cycle time when we start, if we are talking about the video recording, right? So that 45-46 time is the cycle time, but actual time in the end may be only 40 minutes. Okay, so for any activity, if we are placing order, when we are receiving order, again cycle time. Okay, so then we can divide into two types: supply chain lead time, right? supply chain to transform the raw material into finished one and then to ship that finished product to the end customer. That complete time required is the lead time. Today if you are placing the order, you are placing order for some customized product, let's say. So then once your order will reach, only then I will start producing that product, right? That means because of your inputs are important to prepare the final product, so that production time will be there and then it will take, delivery will take some time. Order to delivery, if I am having in-house the delivery, and then how much time it is required to ship the product from the warehouse or the fulfillment center to your location. Customer service level. So customer service level, we talked about customer services level in qualitative measures are also there for customer services. What variety they are looking for? Again, qualitative measures. What level of innovation they need for that? The experience of the delivery, what are their expectations, right? Lead time, how much time they can wait. This is quantitative measures, right? So these are some of the parameters we have designed from customer services level required. Order fill rate. So how quickly you are filling the orders coming from the customer from your existing stock. That means customer placed the order and your fulfillment center or retailer or wherever you are maintaining the inventory, you have that inventory and you are quickly moving the inventory, that is order fill rate. Stock out rate, how many times you were out of stock? If 100 orders were placed, 95 you filled on time, but for 5 orders you took maybe 1 day or 2 days. That means your order fill rate is 95%, stock out rate is 5%, and maybe sometime you may lose the sales as well, because if you are not maintaining the inventory, someone else must be maintaining the inventory. So customer will shift to some other. Back order level means you have the order pending, but you have not sufficient inventory. So once inventory will come, you will clear the back order. Usually now, if you talk about the automobile industry, Maruti, if you go for purchasing any car, or Hyundai or Toyota, so usually they are saying that 3 months time period is there, waiting time period is there. Sometimes they are saying 6 months, sometimes they are saying 1 year waiting time, right? Actually this is part of their marketing strategy also. If they are saying that 1 year waiting time, that means customer will feel that this product is in great demand, so that's why that much waiting time period is there. But still 2 months, 3 months waiting time is there, because I told you this automobile industry, in one model, particular model, maybe more than 200 variants are there. So maintaining for each different type of model inventory, that means minimum 1 inventory you will maintain, that means minimum 200 cars in same make you will maintain the inventory, 200 cars. If we will talk about Grand Vitara, right? So 200, you just calculate the cost of inventory, and that I am talking about only maintaining one piece of the product, right? So because regular orders which are lying somewhere in the middle, you may get frequently, because they are preparing it on frequent basis. Most of the customers, depending upon their predictive analytics, they are buying that and then they are predicting the demand. So but talking about the extreme model, top model, maybe that much demand will not be there, okay? So then probability of on time delivery. So what proportion of customer demand you are meeting on time? What is the probability if you will place order today and when it will be delivered, right? So that way you can calculate. Inventory levels. So usually we discussed about either maintaining raw material, work in progress, or finished goods or spare parts. Sometimes we are maintaining the inventory of the rejected material also, returns also. This is another inventory. This is not completely rejected. Maybe you delivered the product, something during your delivery your courier partner broke the product, some component. So that means the complete product is not a rejected one. Still you can use that product, only you need to replace the component. So then that inventory also you are maintaining. Here only you need to make the balance when we are talking about inventory levels. You should not be stock out, and all the time you should not maintain the excess inventory. That's the only measure how you can measure the inventory levels. Resource utilization. Usually with the organization we have variety of resources. We have talked about 5 M's of resources: man, money, machine, material, methods, right? Other than that also we are using different resources, but we can generalize in these 5 different categories. So let's say, like, we'll take example of IIT Kharagpur only, any educational institution. So now almost for 2.5 months we have vacation period is going on, right? From maybe we started somewhere in the middle of May, it will go up to July end, right? So all those lecture theatres, halls, all those rooms, facilities we are using now lying vacant. We are not utilizing that capacity, right? Unutilized resources, right? So that means those resources are there, we can utilize those and still, you know, come with some profits, some margin. Maybe we can add into the institute funds, and if we'll use those resources. How we can use those resources? This is one example. When we don't have regular classes, we can go for online courses, like NPTEL is doing that during that time. So still we can use this facility, we can record the lectures, and we can then we can serve these services to the distant students who are not here, who cannot avail these facilities, and then they can go through these lectures and go through these videos. So I mean, we can find out alternative ways how we can utilize those unutilized resources during that time. So manufacturing process, again, if what machines we are using different types of equipments, right, in the manufacturing process. Let's say we are manufacturing 2 different models. A is in big demand, B is in less demand, but still we have separate manufacturing that production line for manufacturing your B product, right? But because production demand is not that high, so almost we are running that production line daily, maybe 7-8 hours only. But A we are running 24/7, right? So that means that B production line we cannot remove that production line completely, we cannot give that production line to something else, right? So what we can do is there any model which can be very, very closely related to B, that so that minimum change over time is required, and we can combine with some model C or D or any other model, right? Storage resources, if warehousing you have maintained that capacity of maybe you can store 100 ton of material, but all the time somewhere on average you are storing 70-75 ton, that means fully you are not utilizing the capacity. Logistics resources, we booked the truck from Kharagpur to Calcutta, on the way back from Calcutta to Kharagpur, we are not utilizing that capacity. How we can utilize in a better way, so that that can be ensured, full utilization can be. Similarly, we go with the human resources or financial resources, right? If financial resources example is inventory, always you are maintaining 10 crore inventory within your organization in different ways, either raw material, semi-finished or finished, right? So that means that 10 crore is the amount you are not utilizing. Just imagine if you will deposit that amount somewhere in the bank, you are doing nothing, right? Even then you will get 4%, 5%, right? So if you will invest somewhere in the markets, then returns depends upon your capability, how much you can generate, right? So that is one source. Qualitative measures, customer satisfaction, usually you are delivering, Swiggy is delivering food to you, Zomato is delivering food to you, then they are asking for some your experience, right? Maybe food quality, food taste, hygiene, packaging, the courier partner who delivered the food packet wearing the gloves or not. So courtesy, how he was dealing with you, payment was done smoothly. If you cancel the order, where your payment is returned back to you. So these are some of the points, qualitative measures you can just record. Customer complaints, number of complaints coming from the customer related to maybe delayed delivery, related to maybe some other things, right? So that also you can record. Customer response time, how quickly you are responding if any query is there, right, from the customer, right? Product quality, for quality, like I told you, food quality you can rate, and then when next time Zomato, whenever you will search Zomato, so that restaurant means most of the customers are rating at the highest, so that restaurant will be reflected first based on rating. So that usually this The beauty of e-commerce, website and market is that you can go for the genuine rating of the suppliers, right? So delivery experience already talked about, and order accuracy, that I ordered something and I got the same order, that means order were accurately recorded, right? So talking about either food, if I gave some maybe cooking instruction that it should be less spicy, so whether you maintain those instructions, you implemented or not, so that is order accuracy. You can, and then deliver the correct order in time. Let's talk about now the balance scorecard, right? This is a kind of tool which we can use to record all the performance measures, whether financial or non-financial performance measures, right? So it gives us the comprehensive framework, right? Comprehensive framework which helps to align the business activities to their main vision and strategy. What is your vision and mission? What is your strategy? Let's say if you want to be responsive in the market, so that means to be responsive, whatever customer is demanding, you need to deliver that quickly. Whatever feature they are demanding, whatever color, variety, flavor, in whatever way they are giving their inputs, and if you are saying that whatever inputs you will give will provide you the customized services, so that means that responsive supply chain, manufacturing or order fulfillment is happening, right? Throughout the chain, you need to supply chain, you need to maintain the responsiveness. So that will improve if that common thread of vision and strategy is there. So internal and external communication, internal within the organization, external means with your stakeholders, your warehousing partner, distribution partner, transportation partner, your suppliers. So this was developed by Robert and David, and they included financial as well as non-financial measures into 4 different perspectives, where they included financial perspective as one key performance area where you can record different KPIs. Then customer is another key performance area where again you can record different KPIs and you can improve on that. Internal business process, how you are doing internally, either you are manufacturing or you are storing, how efficiently you are storing, or you are doing the packaging, how efficiently you are doing the packaging. Learning and growth, how you are ensuring that your organization is sustainable. If any new technology is coming, you are not getting obsolete, your manpower is not getting obsolete, you are continuously improving their skills as well, right? So this is a holistic approach which will tie all the organizations, all the stakeholders in that supply chain, right? Just go through the center heart of this model is framework is vision and strategy. Like I told you, if you want to be cost efficient or you want to be responsive, that will be your heart, your vision. Your vision in the market is to compete with the other players based on cost, to compete with other players based on cost, based on responsiveness, based on quick delivery, whatever can be there, right? So all these measures we are defining the objective for each, whatever strategy we have, vision we have, will define objectives, will measure that objective, how we can measure that, right? Some quantitative or qualitative measures. Then what are the targets initially, and then what are the initiatives we are taking to implement that strategy. So these 4 things we are defining for each set of strategy, each objective, right? So talking about these 4 different perspectives, customer is one. That means to achieve our vision, how should we appear to our customer, how our customers are evaluating us, right? So let's say when we are talking about customer, we want to minimize the delivery time. Now objective is to minimize the delivery time. So how you will measure the delivery time? Maybe you are recording the lead time. That is how you can measure the delivery time, lead time, when I am placing the order and when you are getting the order, right? Then targets, what are the targets? Right now maybe we are delivering in 5 to 6 days. I want to ensure in 2 to 3 days. That is my target. Or maybe firstly from 5 to 6 days you want to reduce to 4 to 5 days, and then from 4 to 5 days you want to make it 2 to 3 days, and from 2 to 3 days maybe you will ensure the single day delivery, right? Or maybe then you will go for same day delivery. So this means not ending process. This we'll keep on doing again and again, we'll keep on improving ourselves, right? So this will be target. Now initiatives, what you will take the initiative, right? So initiative means, if I'm saying that, let's take the example of 2 to 3 days. So when I'm saying that 2 to 3 days, whenever customer is placing the order, the courier partner who is picking that final product from any retailer or sales point should ensure that he is picking within 4 hours. Then the delivery to the nearest hub should be done in another maybe 6 hours. Then maybe from that hub to the nearby hub to the customer, maybe within 24 hours it should be delivered. Then sorting and delivering the message to the customer, maybe it will take not. So from the main warehouse, let's say this is in Delhi, and from Delhi to Kolkata, we are saying that 24 hours, right? It should be reached. From Kolkata to nearby Kharagpur, right? It may take another 5 to 6 hours. Then from 5 to 6 hours, how we can ensure 2 hours delivery. This is how we can plan when we are talking about within 2 days delivery. So that means these are initiatives. So for this courier partner, initiative is within 4 hours you need to pick the order, and then it should be delivered to nearby hub. So these are the target. So let's talk about then learning and growth. So let's say we have some unskilled workers, we have semi-skilled workers, and we have skilled workers. Now what is happening, once if I am working for an organization for a longer time and then I start experiencing that there is no learning, there is no growth, my career path I am not able to look, so that means I will feel bored, I will start applying some other organization. So how you can engage your people in the organization? If your unskilled people are there, your target objective should be how you can make them more skilled. Measures are, you measure the skill level, their technical efficiency, their managerial efficiency, how they are doing the things. Maybe you can sort them depending upon different functional units. Someone may be good with the marketing, someone may be good with the purchase, someone may be good with the manufacturing, quality, R&D, whatever different functional units are. Then your target should be how you can move them from unskilled to skilled. Those who are moved to unskilled to semi-skilled, next target is move them to skilled. And skilled is nothing like today I am skilled for this, maybe teaching this course, tomorrow something else will be there in this course. So again we need to reskill ourselves. So skilling is the kind of process which is never ending process. Learning is never ending, right? So initiatives are, you will do some training and development programs, right? Then talk about internal business process. Again, let's say we are talking about FOR, fall of rejection rate means process rejection. Process rejection means we are producing something, during the process processing that we are breaking the components, sometimes we are doing the faulty operation, and then the complaints are coming from the market. So maybe the target is always less than 2%, it should be, means how many products you are producing, defected products, and how many total you have produced. If you have produced total 100 products, out of those 2 products are defected, right, 98 are okay. So that means fall of rejection rate is 2%, right? So now you see how we can measure this. Objectives, objective is to reduce this. Let's say this is a new model, we just implemented the process, we want to make it less than 10% right now, because we are somewhere feeling 12 to 15% fall of rejection rate. Less than 10% we need to maintain. Measures will be fall of rejection rate, FOR is the measure. Target is, initially I will go for maybe 10 to 11%, then I will go for 8 to 10%, then I will go for 5 to 7%. See, when I am saying stage wise, this improving this, how this will improve? Either I need to make some investment in the process, I need to change the process, I need to train my manpower, I need to opt for some latest technology. That means this involves cost. So when you are taking those initiatives, right, either you are taking initiative to implement new technology, that includes some investment. So you need to, evaluate whether whatever investment you are doing, whether that investment is really coming in terms of reducing the FOR or not. Okay. Financial measure. So again, to succeed financially, how our stakeholders should view us, that how we are doing financially, right. So if you are talking about cost of production, we want to reduce the cost of production. This is the objective. Or maybe logistics cost, the last example we talked about is 14% in India. How we can improve the cost? Maybe this objective is will make it 10%. And because our 70% share is going through road transportation, and we have seen that road transportation is usually carries more cost, more delay will happen, accidents will happen, and weather condition depending upon so many external factors. So if you want to reduce that, our first target should be, we need to reduce the road transportation share. We need to increase the ship transportation share, where the cost may be not more than 1.5 rupees per kilometer. But if you are talking about your road transportation, maybe the cost for shipping through 1 kilometer may be 4 to 5 rupees. So how we can reduce that cost? Alternative ways of transportation. Initiatives, you need to shift from one mode of transportation to other mode of transportation. What you will do with those resources which you deployed for road transportation, that also you need to think. So when you are changing from one mode to other mode, many of the resources will go obsolete. What you will do with those resources? So this is, you can see, depending upon your vision and strategy, what you want to be, how you will be, you are posing yourself, your organization after 10 years, 20 years in that industry, different measures you can set, right. So this is complete balanced scorecard approach. Quickly we'll go through, already I have discussed this point. If customer perspective is there, customer is worried about cost, time when he is getting the product, quality of the product, and services level. If you are saying within 1 day delivery, I will definitely come to you. If you are saying for medicine within half an hour delivery, going to medical store, searching for the medicines, maybe I will get, may not I will get. So then again go to the next store. If I am getting 30 minutes delivery, this is fair enough, right. So this is customer, how customer is experience your services. Customer experience can be enhanced. So this is customer perspective. There may be some other ways. These are 4 major points, right. How responsibly you are responding to their queries. After sales services can also be very important, right. What type of variety you are offering, what type level of innovation you are offering, that can be customer perspective, but this is how you can figure out the dimensions related to customer perspective. Talking about your internal process perspective, like we talked about, we want to reduce the fall of rejection rate, right. So how we can reduce that? We need to automate the process. So if process automation is there, obviously there is no manpower, because that defect, why defect is happening? Because manpower is doing the faulty operation. Maybe today he joined or very new on that operation, so he is taking time to learn. Maybe he is not familiar with the equipment, he doesn't know how to operate properly, how to set the parameters, even then that can happen. So if you can eliminate manpower, even then you can reduce those defects. But it's not only elimination. When we are talking about the manufacturing, we can include the training and development programs. If those are the critical stages where most of the defects are occurring, how we can design, how we can ensure that only trained people are working on those stages. Process bottlenecks, how we can remove the bottlenecks in the production. So if maybe again and again I am taking example, if this stage is taking 5 seconds, this stage is taking 10 seconds, that means there is a bottleneck. He is producing 2 pieces at that time and he is only able to process 1 piece. So bottleneck, you are limited by capacity because of the second stage. If you can somewhere maintain the uniformity throughout all the stages, you see maybe more than 500 stages are there in the production line. So you need to design accordingly. How you are aligning your process, and how you are defining number of activities per person. If one person is moving from here to there, everywhere he is dancing on the floor like that, so that means most of the effort is going waste in that way, right? Talking about the learning and growth perspective, how we can ensure that our, see, when we are talking about learning and growth, it's not only the manpower resources we are talking about, they should learn and grow. Obviously they should learn, they should grow, and if anyone is able to see the career path in any organization, obviously he will be motivated to go to the next level. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already you have defined, and you have made sure that even the person will work in your organization for next 40 years, even then he will not feel like he is saturated in his career. If you can design that kind of career path for any employee in the organization, obviously no one will leave, because every day you are getting new opportunities, new challenges. Your job is enriched, your job is enlarged. In that way you are also finding your passion. But that is one point when we are talking about maintaining your manpower. But what about learning and growth when we are talking about whether we are learning new technology? If our competitors are implementing IoT, right, industry 4.0, and they are automating their warehouses, and we are still maybe 500 workers are working in the warehouse, and then they are taking time, where is that packet, where is that product, then they are picking manually, they are doing the packaging, then they are doing the kitting manually, then it is sent. And sometimes, because when you are putting the level or maybe the billing invoice manually, you can do it wrong, because daily maybe you are processing more than 10,000 products. So that is quite possible, right? So how you are growing technologically, how you are sustaining is the right word, how your organization is sustaining, how industries are doing today, after 10 years the scenario will totally change, right? So how quickly your resources are opting for that, right? Financial perspective, cash flow, how you are managing cash, liquidity ratio. If you are keeping all the time very high inventory, that means your cash is involved in inventory only, right? And why inventory is there? Because you are not connected fully with the customer and you are not able to configure the demand. Return on investment, if you are going for implementing IoT, you invested 10%, but you see that only return is 2%. What is the fun of implementing IoT, right? So that also you need to ensure whether you are getting those returns or not, or wherever financial results, either month wise, week wise you are observing, or sometime measures are like that, long term investment is there. So maybe it will take 2 years, 5 years down the line. When Jio initially started investing into the market and they said that all services are free, that means that was their investment. For first year they were not looking at all for any single rupee of profit, and then once we will be well established, capture at least 60% share in the market, then we will come with our pricing policy, right? So that is one scenario. How these 4 perspectives are linked? See, how do customers see us financially? If you are buying your product, see, whenever you start buying the product, any home appliances, so let's say if you are buying TV, so first thing, maybe for middle class or somewhere upper middle class, usually you talk about Sony is known best in the TV, maybe, right? If you talk about the sound quality system, Sony may be the leader. If you are talking about AC, Hitachi, Lloyd, these are maybe the leader. So that means financially, if you are buying that brand is existing everywhere, right? Like best example is Uber. Anywhere you go, most of the countries, Uber Eats is there, Uber Eats and then Uber services you can get. So that means wherever you are feeling comfortable that your service provider is there only, right? So you are not worried about if any returns are happening, you are not worried about if you will miss any ride or something like that, if you cancel any ride, if I'll visit some other country and if I am installing app temporarily and then using that app, I never know whether I'll get my money back or not, and whether that app is reliable or not, right? So that means then customer and learning growth, how are are we doing the best for stakeholders, how our stakeholders are. When you are saying that this year we earned 10% profit, and then you are saying that 5% will do it at dividend and rest 5% will invest further for further improvement, maybe in technology, maybe developing some resources, maybe expanding or anything, any other business. That means whether your stakeholders are looking in that way or they want all the 10% right now, where we can create value for the customer through business processes, and whatever we are doing, how we can excel in those processes, we can be the best in that. So this is best example of balanced scorecard, right? So you can just take any example. If we want to improve the productivity, financial perspective means input is still this level, output you are producing this much, right? Earlier maybe the situation was this much input and this much output you were getting, right, at this level. Now either you can do this, or for the same input maybe you can increase the output, or maybe you can reduce the input and still you are maintaining the same level of output. So how you can do that? Capacity utilization is one point. How much percentage of capacity you are utilizing? Trial production, spare part production, how you are doing that? So then you can monitor weekly, monthly, you can monitor. Like the best example I quoted today is that when for these 2 and 2.5 months, when all the lecture theaters are empty and those facilities, projector, high-end infrastructure we have developed here, so that is lying idle. We are not utilizing those resources. Can we run some training programs for some industries during that time? We will not only generate the revenue, we are also extending our hands, helping hands to the industries where we can train our industry people also. Our industry is very big stakeholder for any educational institution. Only then those people will return back and will ensure the placements also. They will also ensure the training, they will invite the students from our campus for the training purpose. So this is how you can, what you are doing, you are not investing a single rupee extra to develop those resources. Already those resources are there, and for 2.5 months we are not using, and same is happening during December month also when there is winter break, right? So this is one way. Other also you can, I have already taken the example, you can think of any continuous improvement we are talking about. You can implement Kaizen, you can implement Six Sigma, you can implement lean manufacturing, right? So continuous improvement, how you can improve, and those you can monitor, maybe daily also you can monitor, weekly also. One very good example is striking in my mind when I was working with the Eveready India Limited. So they were trying to get ISO certification for 14001 also they were trying, and 9001 they were trying for quality, and they were trying for environment. So what they did, before going for certification, they conducted some training program for internal employees. So they picked one person from quality, I was picked from quality, one person from production, one person from store, and all those people were involved, and they trained us for maybe 10 days, and then they we attended one exam also, and then we were ISO certified auditor. So that means before going for external certification, we have internal auditors who can maintain the records for maybe next 6 months or 1 year, and then we will see that now we are ready to apply for this, and when those people will come, because we have already auditor team who have done this exercise meticulously, that means obviously we will get that certification. This is one way how you can align your strategy. So what are the benefits? You can align your performance measures, your strategy at all levels of the organization, all the stakeholders. Best way of communication, single thread attaching all the stakeholders, and obviously you are talking about the best practices, where you are right now, what are the benchmark in that in terms of KPIs. Then organization mission statement and strategic plan, you are attaching with all the 4 perspectives, and that is not only you are aligning, that is coming as order, that now you need to improve, we need to implement ISO 9001. So that means we need to get that certification. How we can do that? there must be some employees internally who are regularly doing all the checks, and then one day they will say, maybe after 1 year, that now we are ready with our records, now we have implemented all the manual whatever is required for getting ISO 9001, 14001, so then we can go for getting that certification, right. So you can see almost 60% of Fortune 500 companies are using balanced scorecard, right. So some obviously criticisms are also there. Lack of well defined strategy. The basic assumption of balanced scorecard is you should have one strategy, which is the heart of this complete framework, right. So always, because strategy is something you are judging the environment, you are analyzing the environment, and then you are developing. So that means the environment is changing, your strategy will keep on changing. So how you will align that? Too much focus on lagging measures. Always you are talking about where you are lagging, how you can improve, but we are maybe during that time we may miss the opportunity with our strengths. Already we are very good with our strengths, but we are too much focused on lagging measures, so that way maybe we will miss that. And we are using some generic metrics, because if your player, industry player, is using maybe same competitor, still you can get some of the KPIs, but all KPIs may not be applicable for all the players, right. If you are somewhere producing 15% FOR, your the player who is working in that industry may be somewhere ensuring 5% FOR, how you can compare directly with 5%? So you need to set, those levels, right. And sometimes maybe managers were getting those awards, they are manipulating these things so that short term performance can be managed, and then they can get those rewards. This is one case where you can see Southwest Airlines, they used number of balanced scorecard, but what I am talking about here is they use that balanced scorecard for recording the ground crew performance, and they wanted to lower down the cost, and how they can lower down the cost if they can ensure the fast ground turnaround. How quickly you can do that? Indigo is another very best example, where the major of the industry players per plane, they are maintaining 180 employees to 200 employees. Indigo is managing with 90 to 100 employees. Ground staff I am talking about. How quickly they are doing the ground turnaround, and how they can save this, because you need to implement that system. So first you need to know where you are as per those parameters. Maybe you need to train your ground staff, right. And if you are talking about always the financial measure, maybe the people who are working with the finance department, accounting department, it will make more sense. But what about those people who are working with R&D? Today they are coming up with model, maybe tomorrow they may not be able to commercialize that. What will happen with that prototype? So it's not that it should be discouraging that you are not adding any value. Maybe after 10 years they are coming with some unique product, unique technology, can leverage for next 20 years, right. But directly connecting them with the financial measures is not possible. For same goes with the manufacturing also. Whatever you are manufacturing, you cannot relate, means quickly you need that, sometimes you need to make multiple changeovers. If all the time I am thinking about the cost, maybe I may not be able to provide the variety, right. So because variety will take time to change over, so then means it will not make sense for the person who is working in the manufacturing department. So that means if you want to improve overall, you need to improve the perspective from all the departments. Not only financial measures, non-financial measures should also be there, and we can come up with one dashboard where the top management can only judge those parameters and can say this department is doing fair good, or we are lagging with some points, right, so that they can work on, right. So obviously we are working to satisfy the customer needs in a more profitable way. Customer experience should be enhanced, but then we need to measure both the financial as well as non-financial measures. We should not forget the services offered by different functional units, like administration services, distribution services, maintenance services. Maintenance, what maintenance department is doing? Just maintaining the equipment. You cannot relate how much profit we are getting out of that. But you just imagine if our main machine is down for 30 minutes, everything is gone, your production is gone. That those machines are working thanks to the your maintenance team, because they are maintaining it properly. So this we have seen how we can include all the different stakeholders using the balanced scorecard approach. So in the next session we will continue this discussion and we will try to develop the balanced scorecard specifically for the supply chain industry, right. So these are some of the references. We will continue this discussion in the next session. Thank you very much.